charcoal is drying for that one particularly large area. I thought I actually might get started in cutting in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try this cool brush that I learned about a while back. So I think this will feel more natural for me in particular as someone who paints but with smaller brushes for watercolor. And I will just kind of focus on outlining, cutting in those areas before I start kind of filling anything in. So I think that up here, the sealant, the caulk is basically all set up. So I'm going to try and get cut in there too. I just vacuumed here with my shop vac just to make sure that there's nothing right underfoot, because I'm also going to, I think, tape off some of these areas like the floor, the grate here, just so that I can be sure that I'm not getting paint where I don't want it. Another good thing to have on hand is a wet rag, but with acrylic latex paint, all you need is water to wipe anything away. So I think I'm going to wet a rag. I'm going to tape down the floor. I am going to go over everything with some of the tack cloth again, just to be absolutely certain that if there's anything that's kind of sticking to the walls, that I get that off before I start painting. And I also have a drop cloth, which is just a bed sheet, which is fine. So I'm going to tape off the floor first. So here I have just blue painter's tape. This is the duct tape brand, because I feel like painter's tape is actually one of those things that it's better to invest in, because you're probably going to be happier with how it sticks and seals off any of those areas that you don't want painted.
So, I don't know what happened here, but apparently I either just missed the footage or it got deleted or something, but this is the only footage I have of the initial layer of paint on the woodwork. Here you can see what it looks like when I finished. I remember being a little bit scared because it was so streaky and patchy, but once I started doing the second layer, it really evened it out, and then I did a very thin third layer in certain areas if I felt like there was still streakiness. So, sorry about the lack of footage, but here's what it looks like after the first coat.
But this process, getting this far, this is what I have left for the woodwork. But getting this far has taken me so much longer than I expected. Don't mind the pitter-patter of cat feet. The girls are playing. Painting has proven to be very physically taxing. But the fact of the matter is that there's always going to be like weird angles. And I think that's really what kind of did me in. Like my shoulder would really start aching. It would get loose and clicky, and it would just ache like in the joint. And I really pushed it with that first segment because I cut that whole section in, and I didn't necessarily paint everything like the first layer all at once. I don't think. I guess I can't really remember. But I did a lot, and I really pushed it. I'm just trying not to push it. So anyway, So this has taken me so much longer than I thought, but it's come together really nicely, and I love the color. And anybody who's actually come to see it has also loved the color. It just was the right choice, and it looks so beautiful in here. And honestly, it really does actually make the woodwork stand out. So as you can see, I just put some tape kind of where the sill, this part of the sill, meets the woodwork so that it would just visually cut off right here. And then just doing the chair rail and the molding here, and then the paneling on the other side of this part of the window frame. And then just from here down and over. But I'm really close. I'm so close to getting the woodwork done. And then once the woodwork is done, I can paint the walls. And I feel like that's going to be so much more straightforward. Welcome back, and welcome to another day of holy shit, this room isn't done yet? Yeah, this room is not done yet, but we're getting there. But I imagine that painting the walls is going to go in very much a similar way. I'm going to start with just cutting in. I'm just going to go around the perimeter of the room, and I'm just going to establish, you know, edges, and obviously like around the lights here. I would take them down, except I don't feel confident in doing that, so I'm just going to be very careful with cutting in. And I'll probably do just brushwork around the sconces here, and of course around any of the light switches, things like that. The recording stopped. I was indicating up here, so I was probably talking about either using the roller or talking about making sure that I can get off the stepper, or like get high enough off the stepper. Anyway, so when you see me next, I will be painting, and I will try to get a variety of different shots, so that it's not just all wide angle stuff. You get some close-ups and detail shots as well. So see you on the flip side. So I really need to get a second battery for my Canon camera because it's kind of a pain in the butt the way that things work right now. Meaning right now I am recording this video on my phone because there's a bird. It's a cat bird. My Canon, my DSLR battery is charging. But anyway, so I did the whole first coat of the paint all on the wall, on this wall behind me, and then I've got a couple of walls over there as well. While that was drying, what I decided to do was take the paint that was in the tray already and cut in some of the walls over on the other side, so that I could feel like I was still making progress and I was doing something while I was waiting for things to dry, etc. and so on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and put on the second coat. Okay, so I am so close to being done with this project, and I'm so excited. So what I just finished, as you will see, is the walls. My battery, of course, I mean, is this not the most predictable thing ever, died as I was kind of working my way through the walls, but it's nothing that you haven't really seen before. So now all of the walls are, you know, they're drying. It doesn't take that long for this paint to dry, especially if you haven't just like slopped it on the wall, which you shouldn't, by the way. But so the last little finishing touch that I have here for painting is that even though I was being very careful about how much paint I was putting on the rollers, and maybe I'll insert like a little shot here where you can really see it, you know, just little speckles found themselves scattered about the chair rail. So I was just going to take the brush that I did the cutting in for the woodwork with. I'm going to take this brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over just the chair rail, because really that's the only part that needed it out of all of the woodwork that I already did, just to kind of cover up any of that speckling that happened. So that really shouldn't take too terribly long, so that will be the last thing that I do. And then we're done. So then all I have to do is wait for all of this to dry, and then probably what I'll do tomorrow is I will start cleaning up. Good morning. Yes, okay, hold on. Cool, so there's this new party trick I wanted to show you. I don't know, whenever Ari can sense that I'm about to do something that I want to do in this room, she's like, "Mom!" and insists that we do this. So Ari is not a very cuddly cat, all things considered. This is about as cuddly as she gets. And she's very insistent about it. She will not let up. When she wants me to do this, she will meow and meow, meow, meow until I pick her up. And then she'll hop off when she's ready. But I guarantee you she's going to ask to get back on my shoulders. She is like all over me right now. We can celebrate now because I finally finished. It took me like probably 2 or 3 solid weeks to do this project. The woodwork took the longest, I'm gonna say. Interestingly enough though, the walls took the most paint. So I definitely have more green paint left over for my trim than I do white paint for my walls, which is really interesting. But the point is that the painting is finished. So today I'm going to be cleaning up in here, but also just cleaning around the house. You're probably not necessarily going to see me cleaning around the house in this video because I feel like this video is already about a bajillion clips long. I'm going to have a lot of editing to do. But I wanted to do it all at once, you know, just like I really wanted to focus on this room and call me weird, but I guess that's just my method, is that like I wanted this to have my full focus, and then I knew I would do a nice deep clean of my house afterwards. It just really needs to be swept and vacuumed and mopped and maybe some dusting, some light dusting here and there. It's not like a pigsty, but you know, it just needs like a nice cleanup. Anyway, Slanja, cheers, L'chaim, Mazel Tov, Votre Santé, Opa! It's done, don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the second cup of coffee in my adorable raccoon mug. Shout out to my friend Tori, who got this actually replacement mug for me when I broke the first one that she got me. And I'm gonna get cleaning, so see you on the flip side.